Mhm. Hello, Anna. So today we will talk a little about design. Yeah. So what are the most common operations you do or need to do, for example, for social media management?
For me, the most important is background remover. When I create something, then I want to cut the thing that is important for me, or change the background color, or add some stick together some photos, some videos, and so on.
Okay, so that's good. So actually, let's have a look. I will share my screen. So if you have a design on Canva, what you would do, you would open your design like this one. You would select like the background, click here, highlight my mouse, click here and select the color you want here. And with just one click, you change the background color. But this only works when you created the design in Canva using Canva elements. So for example, if you just get this picture, I have it on my computer here. So if you just have one picture, for example, this is the picture we just saw. If you just have this picture and you want to change the background color or remove something, what you can do is use a GIMP. It's a free, free. It's open source software. If you just go on Google, you look for GIMP, you will find it. It's free to download and to install. It's an image manipulation program, as its name say. And what you can do once you have opened GIMP is to open a picture and you can work on pixels. So on Canva, you work on elements. It's interactive elements. But after you export it, all the pixels are merged together and you don't have access to the vectorial elements. So on GIMP, you can work on the pixels. So if you get a picture like this one, for example, you can use the tools. For example, if you want to change the background color, what you can do is here to use this tool, and with a long click, you can select the select by color tool. Here you can select the threshold, so how deep the color will be recognized. So if it's only the exact color or a larger nuance of colors. So by default, you have some values. You have to play a bit again to see what works for you. And with this tool, you just click on the picture. And here, for example, I have selected everything that is 2 or 3.7% close to the color I clicked on. And if I use a Control X to cut, here I cut this color. So here the picture has a black background. And if I want to have, for example, a transparent background, what I should do is select all, use Control A, Control C to copy all, add a new layer. So here I add a new layer. Make sure this layer has transparency in the background because the previous layer had a black in the background. So if I remove something, I see black. But if I use a layer with transparency behind, we'll do it now. I created a new layer. I paste the stuff. I apply it with a Control H. I remove the first layer. And here I see only this second layer. On this second layer, if I do the same operation, I select this color. I press Control X to cut it. Now I see transparent background. And if I had activated another layer behind, like this, I activate the layer under it, I can see the layer from under. So this is useful when you want to extract some parts of a picture. So here, for example, I extracted the background. And if I, for example, create a new layer, transparent layer, and here I take this whole layer and I use the bucket fill tool. I select a color, for example, red color. If I fill the underlying layer with a color, oh, I didn't select the color. Open. Okay, here. Then I put a red layer under. So here we are working on pixels, and it's especially interesting if you want, for example, to separate like just a part of a picture. For example, if I can just find my picture. Oh, for example, this is what I did here. I used GIMP here to remove the background and to only have this in front. So I started from the scratch picture, which has a background. I'm not sure where I put it. And I used the select by color tool, and then I zoomed in to select pixel by pixel what I want to remove using either the color selection tool or here the free selection tool. And with the free selection tool, for example, I can, let's just say that I want to remove my hair. For example, I start here, I had the point here, another here, here. So I detour the part that I want to remove. In this case, for example, my hair. Okay, just an example, and Control X, I remove it up. And at the end, I have to press Enter to close the selection, and now I can cut it. And if I cut it, it only cuts what I selected. So there are a lot of tools like this to work on the pixel of a picture. Although I use it often when I have to blur something. For example, if I want to blur my face, I just open any picture. I go here in Filters, Blur, Pixelize. And so here I have not selected a part of the picture, so the whole picture will be pixelized. But if I take, for example, the rectangle select tool, I remove, I pressed Control Z to undo the selection. For example, I just want to blur this part. So first I select the part I want to blur with the rectangle tool or the free select tool. So here I have selected the rectangle, and if I go to Filter, Blur, Pixelize, it will only pixelize
the face,
the part that I have selected. And here I can play with the parameters of this function, this pixelize function. So if I put more block width, the pixelization will be bigger, and if I put less, it will be lighter. And I can see the result in real time. When I'm done, I just have to press OK, and it's applied to the picture. Okay. For example, okay. I want to cancel, undo. Here we go. For example, if I want to, let's say, change my tie color and have the same tie color as here, what I could do is to use this select by color tool. So here, long press on the main menu item and then go to select by color. And here, try to find my tie. So here I have to play with the threshold. So the higher the value I put, the larger will be the selection. Yeah. So it will take in consideration more shades of the color closer to the one I will click on. So if I take a large threshold, for example, it takes actually the whole picture, so it's too much. This is still too much. It takes some other colors than red. Here, for example, it takes some more red colors. So this is what you could do, for example, and you have to, of course, and click also on the right pixel. So it's actually the same functions as on what's the other tool name from Adobe? Yes. And here, actually, it's selecting everything because this picture is a little bit dark. But if you want to select, for example, just the tie, what I would do is first make a hand selection, a general one. Then I would copy it, create a new layer, paste it on the new layer. So if I hide the previous layer, I only have the tie here. And now it's easier to work on what I want to do. So for example, select the red and take in consideration more red, more variations of red. This is too much. And the problem here is that the dark shades also are too close to the dark shades of red. So what you could do also is to reduce the threshold, select a first subset of your picture, and then holding Shift, click somewhere else, and it will add to the selection, add the new selection to your existing selection. Like this, you can play, and here you go. You see, I added an automatic detection of shades of red, and by adding them one after one, holding the shift key on my keyboard, I have selected like my whole tie. And now what I want to do is invert the selection. So right click, select, invert. And now I selected everything except the red. And if I cut it, if I cut it, now only the tie is left, more or less. So I can still, here I want to cut this, for example. So select, cut, again. Yeah. Here we go. And now, if I want to change my tie color, I can use one of the tools. For example, here I can go to coloring. I guess I can use color balance and add more or less of the color. So there are a lot of options to play with. So it takes some time actually to learn how to use it. There are plenty of options. If I use color temperature, here I get a more orange tie.
Oh.
Here I can get a blue tie. For example, just like this, if I just do this, I activate again my previous layer, and now I have a blue tie. Yeah. So this is just a quick example. Of course, it takes a lot of time to be precise, to do it well, and to make sure that it works fine, especially when you work on photographies like here, like a human subject. It's much harder than working, for example, on this, because here it's only like some pixels together.
Yes, of course.
So GIMP is kind of simple, and I use it for more or less everything related to pixel. And then when I want to put elements together, that's when you use a Canva or another tool on which you can work on vectorial. So you have elements and you can move elements between each other, but you cannot modify the elements. Like only basic properties like size, color, width, orientation, but you cannot really like crop a little bit of an element or something like that. This is not easy, and this is why you need a tool like GIMP or Photoshop on which you can work on the pixels of a specific picture.
I see.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other question?
No, thank you so much. It was very clear. For sure, I would use it in my work, creating some posts or making some funny stuff. Thank you.
Exactly. So actually, when you have Canva, it's pretty simple to draw because you can reuse existing drawing. But here you can also like draw by the pen. So if you select the pen, select the color. For example, I want to add some gold. Select your pen, and you have to select the active layer or you won't see it. And here, for example, you can paint.
I see.
It's very one. But usually now for this, we use Canva, and on Canva, we find an existing element that is a beautiful arrow and beautiful sun instead of trying to paint our own. Okay. So good luck using GIMP and creating nice designs.
Thank you.